My name is Jay Pepito. I sing for a hardcore band from the Philadelphia area called Reign Supreme.
You're here on some Canadian dates?
Yeah, we have, actually, this is sort of like the first weekend of a 10-day tour, and this weekend is with Strife, who are obviously a pretty legendary California hardcore band. Fired Up, a sick sort of old-style hardcore band from Connecticut, and another band called To The Lions, who are from Toronto. Very heavy stuff, very cool, so 3 days in Canada right now.
Your impression of Canadian women, you were starting to talk about that before.
Well, not to come off as a total creep on the internet, but if any Canadian girls are watching this, specifically live in Montreal, get in touch because I want to marry you, because I want to live here, because I love Montreal. Canadian women are beautiful. I don't speak French, so that doesn't help. But yeah, there's beautiful girls everywhere we go. I mean, we were walking down some downtown kind of area today, and I just kept seeing hot girls everywhere, you know? It's pretty crazy, but pretty awesome.
What political movements influence Reign Supreme give you guys that fire, because you have some serious fire?
Absolutely none. We take no political stance on any sort of stuff like that. 2 members of our band are vegan and pretty into it. I think like 3 of us are straight edge, and the rest are just nothing. So we don't really care about too much of that kind of stuff. More than anything, Reign Supreme is sort of just our way of getting out there and playing hardcore and experiencing it. I will say, if there are any sort of movements or anything you want to call it that fuel the band, it's pretty much just passion, emotion, and pure anger. That's really what we thrive off of. It's just getting ourselves out there and putting it out and doing it, and that's really about it. There's no political jargon or any of that kind of stuff for any of our songs.
As a hardcore band, how do you guys make ends meet since album sales really aren't what they used to be?
It depends. I mean, there's a lot of hardcore bands. Really for hardcore bands right now, the only way to make it is if you have a really great merch table. Merch is a big thing at hardcore shows, so you know we strive to keep our merch fresh and all that kind of stuff, to continuously put money in our pockets. Just more than anything, it doesn't pay us, but it pays for us touring, and it pays for like food at shows and gas and van payments and all that other crap. As far as how we make ends meet on our own, we all have jobs. I'm a personal trainer, and I also run food in a pretty nice restaurant in Philadelphia, and I work at a clothing store. A couple of the other guys all have different odd jobs. Like our drummer's a valet parker. It just kind of depends. Whenever we're not on tour, we just work, and then we go on tour, and then we go back and work and save money to go on tour again. You know, hopefully someday we'll be a like a Throwdown or Hatebreed kind of level where we can afford to tour and live off it, but that's not really in the cards right now. Obviously, where we're at. So.
Are there any issues that are, I don't know, bothering you these days in the hardcore scene? Because you play a lot of shows, you're in the Northeast, really the meat of, you know, East Coast hardcore. Yeah,
absolutely. I will say one thing that really, can I curse in this?
Yeah.
That really fucking pisses me off is there's a very heavy tendency for hardcore kids, and I'm sure it's not just, nowadays, I'm sure it's always been like this, but there's a very heavy tendency for people to just follow what other people say in hardcore. You go on any message board and you got the cool kids in the scene from whatever crew, or the cool kid from whatever band says something, and 60 other dick-riding little pussies will just be like, oh, yeah, I totally agree with you, man, you couldn't have said it better, because they want to get in with the guy and be friends with him and all that, and I just think it's total fucking bullshit. That is one thing that really fucking bothers me. We've had a lot of people write us off as, whatever, just because we don't, I guess, kiss anyone's ass and we don't suck dick to get where we need to. We just kind of play and hang out and make friends, and that's really all that we're about. We really don't give a shit about being the biggest band on earth or anything. We just want to tour and play and have fun. So, I think that's one thing that I would like to see change. Realistically, I don't think it ever will, but I think it just sucks that people are scared at certain points to say, oh, I like this band, or this band did a good record. Or this band didn't do a good record or whatever. Like, I think people need to just start being honest with themselves and stop trying to make friends with fucking everybody, and stop trying to just be on the cool kid's good side all the time. That shit just is fucking whack. I can't take it. But whatever.
Being the ladies' man that you are, how do you think the role of, the standing of women in the hardcore scene has changed over the years?
It really depends. Like, I think women are just like men in the hardcore scene. You've got women who go to shows and they hang out and they mosh and they buy merch and support bands and follow bands and go on tours and do all the other kind of stuff that guys do, and they're really in it for the right reasons. They don't like the outside world. They want to be part of this community, and I embrace that with open arms. I think, I've never had a problem with girls in the hardcore scene. And just like guys, there you got your weak-minded hangers-on who just want to be fucking cool. So they will, you know, show up to shows and kind of kiss whatever band is in town, kiss their ass, and try to roll with them and hang out and this, that, the other thing. And it's really insincere and really shitty. I mean, I guess guys do that too. So it doesn't really matter to me what your gender is. I think as long as you're in this for the right reasons, you know, that's cool and like that's great and that's something that should be embraced. You know, it's really a pretty equal footing to me. There are shitty people, you know, with dicks and with vaginas. It doesn't really matter who you are. It matters, you know, what's in your heart, I guess.
In Philadelphia, is fighting an issue in the hardcore scene?
I would say traditionally Philadelphia has had one of the most violent hardcore scenes in the world. Fighting for the past couple years, like literally within the past 3 to 4 years, has been much significantly less of an issue. I think a couple of guys sort of took a leadership role and just sort of put their foot down with a lot of shit. I mean, you still have your squabbles here and there, and you still have your beef that gets settled at shows sometimes here and there, but I think that for the most part, you had a couple of guys kind of stand up and be like, yo, fighting is ruining the scene and ruining the venues and, you know, making young kids afraid to come out and all this kind of stuff, and they really put their foot down, and there hasn't been a ton of bullshit since. So that's really amazing, but I would say growing up, Philadelphia was known for being one of the scariest, most violent places to go to shows. I've seen a lot of crazy things, and, you know, it's whatever. I mean, I think, like, violence is an inseparable part of hardcore. It's a violent, like, outlet for everyone, and, you know, fighting in hardcore, it sucks when it ruins shows, and it sucks when it, you know, whatever, but it's something that's going to happen. It's an emotional thing, and it's a passionate thing, and sometimes emotions get involved, you know, fists start flying. It's whatever, as long as you can put the bullshit aside at the end of the day and do what's best for, you know, fucking core or whatever you want to call it. I think that's more important than just casually, you know, if once you get in a fight at a show, like, doesn't make you a bad person. It's just shit happens sometimes, but it's been pretty good lately in Philadelphia. We've been really lucky, so it's cool.
Who were some of the most intense bands you saw when you were younger?
God, I could go on forever. I'm 25 now. I've been actively participating and going to shows for the past 10 years. Definitely the most impactful band that I ever saw live was Madball. I saw them for the first time. Actually, I remember I was on my way to a show when I first got into hardcore, and my friend put on Demonstrating My Style in the car, and I was like, this is the sound I've had in my head since I was a little boy, and I couldn't figure out what it was, and it was just perfect. And then I saw them live, and if you ever see Madball, you know they're pretty much the best live hardcore band. They are most consistent, whatever. So that's a great live show. I saw Hatebreed right after Satisfaction as Death Desire came out, and that show was hugely influential on me as a musician. A lot of bands. I really liked Ensign growing up. From New Jersey, they played a lot. Killer Idols played a lot. I don't know who else. I mean, I've seen Earth Crisis. I've seen pretty much every big New York band, all that kind of stuff. Floor Punch, oh fuck, huge influence. I loved going to see them. You know, growing up at the Jersey Shore in the late 90s, that was a big band to see, so very cool.
Any bands you want to offer a quick shout out to? Any labels, any friends of yours running any businesses?
Yeah, I mean, I could go on forever, and this is kind of the worst part of interviews because you always feel like you're going to forget someone. But I would say to anyone out there who hasn't heard them, check out this band called Trapped Under Ice from Baltimore. As far as I'm concerned, they're the best band playing hardcore music right now, so definitely need to check them out. Obviously, big what's up to Rock Vegas, Mission Merch, Deathwish Incorporated, Malfunction Records. I'm sure I'm fucking forgetting people, but all our people who fucking hang out and help us with everything, you know, we really appreciate it. And obviously, I don't say it enough on stage or to their faces or anything, but definitely lots of love to the dudes in my band because they're pretty much my best friends, and it's awesome that we get to do this together and whatever else. So definitely need to shout them out because they don't get it enough, but they fucking deserve it. So.